What's up, everybody? This is Scott from NoLifeTillMetal.com, and it's time for another edition of What's Spinning. And this is going to be part 4 in the Christian metal series that I started. Started off with thrash metal, then we went to actually I started off with heavy metal, went to thrash metal, doom, and now we're going to be doing some I don't know, pop metal, hair metal. But sitting next to me, this is Dale Huffman.
Yeah, I do the radio show called Metal Pulse Radio.
Pulse Radio.
You don't want to miss it, man. Theme song. It's Hard to Metal from Ultimatum.
Yep, and it's been that way for...
ever since the show started 7 years ago.
There you go. So, anyhow, Dale's show is completely Christian metal, not just pop metal, all kinds of metal, you know, from the light stuff to the most extreme stuff. But I thought, hey, he's here visiting for the day, so let's shoot a video and show some of our top 10 favorite hair metal, pop metal, whatever you want to call it, you know, that 80s style metal that everybody kind of lumps into the hair metal. I kind of hate the hair metal term. It's,
yeah,
you know, I mean,
glam rock.
Yeah,
okay,
whatever you want to call it. You know,
yeah.
it's heavy riffs, power chords, heavy drums, and you know, usually screaming guitar solos. And anyhow,
yeah. Hey, let me do a little pump in here, man, before we get going here.
Sure.
Okay, everybody knows Scott on his Facebook page and that, and they always talk about this room. I mean, dude, it's like a shrine of Christian. I mean, of metal. If you ever get a chance, if you're good friends with Scott and you're ever in New Mexico, dude, you gotta check this room out. It is a shrine. I'm sorry, man. I know this, we'll get back on the subject now.
No problem, man. All right, so we're gonna start off with number 1. First one in my pile that I picked out was Angelica. This is a Canadian band, and this was produced by Ken Tamplin. Who's a phenomenal singer in his own right, and actually he sang on one song on this, and then also Rob Rock sang the majority of the songs on here. Of course, Rob Rock, known for his work with Impolitary, Mars Project, Driver, among others, Avantasia. He's been
it's his solo stuff, you know.
His solo stuff, exactly. He's been in a ton of stuff, but heavy hooks. I mean, this thing is just fantastic. And the guitar player, what's his name? Dennis Cameron,
yep.
That's it, Dennis Cameron. Total shredder. The guy knows his way through it. You know, he can just... So, yeah, great stuff. So, I'm going to play a clip of this song right...
Next one?
Sure.
Let's do some, one of my favorite bands. I play quite a bit. X-Sinner. Get it, man. If you're a big AC/DC fan, you will like this band a lot, man. I mean, like I said, this is their first album. I mean, straight up, I guess, hair metal. I mean, this.
Yeah, I mean, they get compared to AC/DC a lot, but, you know, a lot of those early bands, early Crocus, early Def Leppard, you know, they actually remind me more of the early Def Leppard, you know, like the first 2 albums.
Yeah, the vocalist on this one is Dave.
Right.
This is the original vocalist, he's on the one, and then on the second one is Scott, right?
Right.
Okay.
And,
like I said, you got to check it out.
Dave Robbins, great voice. He kind of, unlike most bands that get, you know, tagged as AC/DC clones, he doesn't sound like Bon Scott. If he's anything, he sounds more like Brian Johnson.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I was reading a review of that album in Martin Popoff's Encyclopedia of Heavy Metal, and he actually gave it a very high rating and said the same thing, that, you know, it was nice to hear a band who was AC/DC inspired, who had a Brian Johnson-like vocalist instead of everybody trying to sound like Bon Scott. But yeah, there's one song on there. Can I say it real quick?
Yep.
I'm trying to remember the name of the song, and I'm not going to be able to see it without these stupid things, but... let's see, what is it? There was one song on here that sounds so much like that. Like, if Def Leppard had recorded this song, it would have been a huge hit. Come on, help me out. What song is it? Medicine, Stepping on Toes. Hearts on Fire, No Way In, Get It, Accomplished, Walking Evil, Lift Him Up, Kick Him Out. Maybe it was Living on the Edge.
Living on the Oh yeah, it is.
Living on the Edge. If Def Leppard recorded that song back in 1980, whatever, 84, 85, they would have had a huge hit with it because it's just that good.
And this album come out, what, 1990?
Yeah, 1990. It was produced by the Elefante brothers.
Yeah, the Elefante brothers.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken, didn't they bail them out? Didn't they have this? They had this on a different, somebody producing it, and then the brothers come in and bail them out at the last second on the CD?
Might have been. I thought it might have been this.
Okay, you might be right.
Yeah.
I'm jumping the gun.
Rage of Angels. Number 3. This, because this was originally supposed to be on like REX Records, and it ended up being on REX/Regency Records, and was partially produced by the Elefante brothers. Not sure the whole story, but this is just a solid, definitely has that pop metal sound to it. Big hooks, lots of power chords, real good guitar solos, very smooth vocals. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and play a clip of that right here. So there you go, Rage of Angels, and this was the only album they ever released.
Yep.
And a few of these members split and went off into.
What was the name of the band? I was thinking, I knew you were going to ask that, Scott, and I can't think of it. Any other time I could think of
Steelheart.
Steelheart. Me and Scott were talking about this, man. Doing this thing. I said, "You sure you want me to talk? Because I'll get going and I'll forget stuff."
I forget stuff all the time. It's
okay, let's do CD number 4. One of my favorite CDs. I play a lot on the radio show. Is Holy Soldier.
Yeah, that's California glam metal right there.
Right here, man. This is produced by David Savero, man.
David Savero was formerly the guitar player for Blood Good.
Blood Good, yep.
And this came out on Word Records and was one of the first like heavy metal albums to ever be released on Word, because Word was mostly a contemporary, Christian label that only put out, just the standard light rock kind of stuff.
You know what I like? This could be kind of a reason why I picked this CD, because this one is, if you listen to songs like See No Evil, Lies, it's got that screaming kind of hair metal, glam type metal. I really love those songs. They're not really hard, but there's this whole album, just from beginning to end, 10 songs are great.
Yeah, solid hooks, and then just some great riffs too, like on this, Tear Down the Walls. I can hear it in my head now, just that chunking E chord. I just love that song. So.
Plus Jamie Kramer on guitar. He is a shredder, man, dude. A lot of people don't know it, but he is a shredder. And very nice guy, too. I did an interview with him a few years back, just before I did one with Scott with Ultimatum, and we did Up in Ashes 1.
So yeah, Jamie Kramer?
Yep.
And it's actually signed by him right there. So, go ahead.
Okay. No problem, man. But like I said, you probably got that at Up in Ashes 1.
Yep.
Yeah, that was good. I missed that show. I've seen the last 2, but yeah. But great guy. Good album.
And before we go to the next one, Up from the Ashes, I'm going to be doing another one of those memorabilia minutes pretty soon. And I actually already pulled the CDs to show. I'm going to be telling a story about Stephen Patrick and meeting him there. Funny story. Great guy. To me. Anyhow, moving on.
Let me Stephen Patrick, not in metal no more.
No.
Just letting people know, not metal. Scott owns his country album, man. Just letting you. Okay, good. Go ahead.
All right. This is actually another Elefante produced.
Yep.
Fear Not. And we were talking about this just before we were pulling CDs out. We were talking. This group of individuals been in a different band name before, and for the life of me, I can't remember what it was. Should have looked it up before I did the video, but that's all right. But I'll look it up real quick and put it down here so you guys will read. But this album blows away that first album under the different name. Really heavy riffs. Again, pounding drums. And great guitar solos, and the vocals. I really like. He's got that kind of gruff style, almost like a Dangerous Toys or Skid Row, maybe.
You know what really surprised me about this label, Scott? Most of it is the label that put it out. Word.
Is it Word?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If you knew Word back in the 90s and early late 80s and 90s, you didn't see this kind of stuff, man. So I'm really surprised that they put out a great metal album like that.
Yeah, it's matter of fact that Holy Soldier album you were holding up earlier. Which one's that? That's on Myrrh.
That's Myrrh.
But that was also I believe released on Epic as well, if I'm not mistaken. So, all right. So anyhow, Fear Not, and yeah, there's like some great songs in here. I think one of the songs on here is actually written by I believe it was John Elefante, who was in Kansas, right?
Yep.
And it's called "We Have a God." I'm going to throw a real quick clip in right here.
Okay, let's do Shout. You know, Scott did their second album yesterday. I mean, on his last episode. And if you won't, it won't be long. I love this album, you know, because I don't know, it's just greatly written. I mean, Ken Tamplin all the way through it, you know. I love it. Chuck King in there, man. I mean, it's just a great album, man.
Chuck King's a great guitar player, very underrated.
Yeah, he is, man. And you know, I was talking to Scott. We were talking about this album, and I'll give you a little trivia fact before we talk about this album. But that Ken Tamplin, a lot of people might know this in the Christian scene, is cousins with Sammy Hagar.
Correct.
And matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, I don't mean to get too Christian here, but if I'm not mistaken, back about 10, 15 years ago, he brought Sammy to the Lord. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to judge anybody's walk, but man, but you can see the roots, man, in the family. You know, from Sammy Hagar to Ken Tamplin, man. I mean, dude, you know, it's in the family, man. But this is a great album. Like you said, a lot of hooks from the beginning. I mean, when you put "Never Stop," the first song, man, dude, one of my favorites, man. I just love it.
The guy's an insane vocalist. His octave range is incredible. I mean, if you're watching me on YouTube, check out Ken Tamplin's YouTube channel. He does instructional videos. He can sing anything, absolutely anything. It's just amazing. And then he's no slacker on the guitar either. The guy,
no, he can shred, and he plays a lot more on this one than the second one.
Right.
And so there's more of Ken Tamplin playing on this album. And plus, you know, me and Scott had a little discussion because after the Shout album, you had Axe to Grind.
Yep.
Ken, because we kind of debated on that one because we almost played that one. I told Scott I think it's a little bit more heavier, but then he pointed out some songs and that. But Shout only put out 3 albums, and Shout Back was the third one in '99. Yeah, that's a great album, man, dude. It is.
Axe to Grind.
And I think they put out one called Shout Back. You can kind of skip that one if you want to. That's my opinion, but that's mine.
It's okay. It's not,
yeah, okay.
It doesn't have the same. You know what? It's a different time. You know, and
yeah.
This is the '80s, and it has that '80s feel.
Yeah, this is '88 when this come out, and this come on Frontline. Back then, Frontline had a great lineup, man.
Oh,
you
yeah.
had Deliverance, and you know, Civil War. You had
Blood
Shout,
Good.
Blood Good. I mean,
Yeah.
you had if you're in the Christian scene back in the '80s, this was the label to be on. But like I said, great album.
And previous to that, he was in Joshua.
Yep.
All right, so moving on. These are probably a little more well-known. This next one is Guardian, and this is their second album, Fire and Love. Featured new vocalist, new to Guardian, was Jamie Rowe, and who had been in Tempest before this.
Tempest, yeah, with his brother.
With his brother, and this is I'm going to say, although I really do not like Bon Jovi, this is like a heavy version of Bon Jovi.
Dude, that's what I was thinking about, man. We were talking about that earlier. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, it's heavy hooks. Again, this is another Elefante. A lot of this stuff's Elefante. I'm just realizing that now. Yeah.
Yep.
Elefante production. Super heavy hooks. I mean, just you can't get away from singing along if you know the songs at all. Great guitar work. I mean, Tony Palacios he's always been one of my favorite guitar players, and he's just great. I saw them on this tour. I saw him on this tour after this, and saw him on the acoustic tour. And the guy, he's just an awesome guitar player. But this was actually a pachyderm pressing, but this was also released on Epic Records. Most versions of this you see are on Epic Records. So, yeah, great album. Yeah, I'm not going to play a clip of that one. You can find this all over YouTube.
Yeah, like I said. What am I on album number 7, 8? This is everybody knows Stryper, but we had to put one in there. We figured we'd put the first album in there, Stryper, man, on Isaiah 53:5. Look, Scott even got it signed by the band, man.
Yeah, you can't talk about Christian. I mean, the first band that comes to anybody's mind when you say Christian metal is Stryper. whether that's good or bad, I don't know.
Yep.
People tend to think, Christian metal, and they think of Rock for the Rock and Stryper and big hair and bumblebee costumes. And you know what? There's so much, as you can see from the first 3 videos I did on this series. There's so much more to it than just Stryper. But Stryper's a seminal band. They were great. Like them or not, I mean, they had some heavy riffs. I mean, a song like Surrender, that overdriven guitar sound, that it was awesome.
Yeah, Reach Out, man. Like I said, they set the precedent for Christian metal. You know what it is. It is, and it's kind of nice too. If you look back there, it is the original lineup that's playing right now too.
Yep.
And so that's nice that these guys still around after what, 30
years,
32 years,
something like that. Yeah, 32 years.
Yeah, that's a long time. Great album. Like I said, we had to put Stryper in there.
Originally formed as Rock's Regime.
Yep.
That album actually has my wedding song on it too, Together as One.
Mine too.
Was that your wedding song?
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I was gonna put that in. I was gonna say it, but I was gonna want to do no promotion. Together as One is the one me and Cheryl walked down 20 years ago too.
Yep.
Yep. You can tell we're metalheads.
All right, so we're at number 9, right?
Yeah.
All right, this band is fairly well known as well. This is actually their 4th album, and it is Whitecross in the Kingdom.
Great album.
Definitely has hooks. Yeah, that's what pop metal and hair metal, whatever you want to call it's all about. You want them sing-along hooks, and this album is packed full of them. Production very slick, this actually came out, 1991, 90, something like that, I don't know. But very slickly produced, but still has those, big cannon-like drums, and Rex Carroll is, he often gets compared to like Eddie Van Halen because he does a lot of that tap-on guitar solo stuff. Very, very good stuff. This one happens to be signed too. It's actually signed by Rex Carroll in the back. I forgot about that.
Great guitar player.
In the back there.
I like Rex Carroll. The myth of the stories of him are not true, man. But yeah, he's a great guitar player, great guy to meet, man, dude. I really like his. Yeah, like he said, Scott said, he's a shredder, man, dude. He can tear it up.
Generally a nice guy, and actually, the way I met Rex was because of he actually mixed a song for Ultimatum on our first album.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
When after Ultimatum's demo came out, Symphonic Extremities, and we got signed by whatever the label was back then, on our first album, they wanted to include a bonus track, and they wanted a big person's name on it. So they had Rex remix one of the songs on that album, and they put a little band on the side remixed by Rex Carroll. That's how I actually met him for the first time.
Okay.
So yeah, In the Kingdom. There's actually a rock rap song on this too, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember what the name of the song is right now. Was it POD they did that with? And of course, like every early Whitecross album, there's some eruption, Van Halen eruption like guitar solo, and this one definitely has one of those on here too. And so I like, not my favorite Whitecross album, but a solid Whitecross album, especially if you're into the pop metal thing. I will warn you though, after this, as you start getting out of, past this album, you're going to start getting away from the pop metal, and they started, especially once Rex Carroll left the band, they started getting into a more of a alternative rock.
Yeah, more alternative sound. Yeah.
They had that High Gear album that came out after this, which was still similar to this sound, but then after that, it was definitely I call it a descent because it just wasn't as good to me.
I looked at it more like praise music, with the guitar, with a heavy guitar to it. I mean, it's good stuff, but I mean, like you said, if you want that, I like High Gear, but the first 4 are great album.
Yeah, I think I still love the first one the best.
Yeah.
Whitecross, I mean, it's just...
Look at that picture, man. You can tell that's 80s, man. I love that picture, man. I always get a kick out of that.
I remember walking into I don't even remember if I was a Christian yet. I might have been a brand new Christian, but I remember my buddies and I from college walked into this Christian music store, and we were just looking through the demos, and I walked across and I found this. I popped it in there because they always had them little demo listening centers. Yep. And I was like, oh, that's great. So this was like one of the very first Christian metal albums that I ever bought, and this actually reminds me a lot of Rat.
Yeah.
That early Rat stuff.
I like that stuff.
A little bonus material there.
Yeah, with that.
All right, so this is number 10, right?
Number 10.
Last one.
Eternal Right.
Eternal Right.
This is a box set that was a compilation. Not a compilation.
Yeah, it's a compilation.
Yeah, but anthology. I can't even say the word, guys.
Anthology.
Thank you. And this is put out on a good friend of me and Scott's. This is put out by Rock's Production, man. Yep. Great CD. It's got the first CD in there, and plus some demo stuff. Really great album, man. Well done CD. If you like the '80s, got the good hooks, you know, all the way through. I mean, just
Guitar solos.
Yeah, the guitar
Oh, goodness,
solos.
he's a great guitar. Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, what's the guitar player's name? Help me out here. Forgetting his name. Regardless, he was one of the guitar players who tried out and was being considered for Ozzy's band after Randy Rhoads passed.
Yep, Hands Red. I remember that. I remember hearing that story.
So,
And a great CD, like I said. The first CD was put out by Pure Metal.
Pure Metal.
Pure Metal. Pure Metal back in the late '80s was another great album to check out. But
Was it 1990 we thought that came out? Yeah, I think it was 1990 then.
19, yeah, we were really surprised about that.
It was recorded in 88, 89, and released in 1990.
Great CD.
Very good. Yeah, it's I've actually sent that one out to a few people just as a gift, and everybody who I sent it to seems to really like it. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say that it's not quite as hooky as some of the other stuff. You know?
Yeah.
It doesn't quite have the big pop hooks. A little more straight ahead LA heavy metal than some of the other ones we've shown.
But to see the demos on here that really surprised me, because these demos were done in the mid '80s,
Right.
85, 86,
Exactly.
87, and for that sound back then, really surprised me, man. I was really surprised. Really good album.
Definitely worth checking out. And yeah, Rock's Records, and it may even be still in main production. And if you bought that as a pre-order, I think it actually came with right behind me. I know
DVD? Didn't it come with the DVD?
Yeah, it came with a promotional DVD, bunch of live material.
Which is over the Rock's production, Rock's Record website.
Here's the
That's original.
That's the original pressing of World Requiem, which was their 1990 album. And again, look at them band photos.
No.
Yep, that is your glam metal right there. A lot of people, especially metalheads, they don't like the glam metal. They don't like, I hate glam metal. You know what? I love thrash, love death metal, love traditional heavy metal, but I like the glam stuff, man. And I even like the look, I know people laugh at it, but to me it was a show. It was showmanship. It was larger than life. It was something.
The lights, man. The lights going on, and like I said, I'm gonna use your band as an example. When you want to go and see a show, you want to see somebody giving 110%.
Exactly.
And hair metal bands back in those days did, man.
Exactly.
You had the drum lifts, you had everything, man. And I'm not saying all the men have drum lifts, but I mean, but at least the band goes out there and gives 110%. And I could have glad me and Scott did hair metal. We're a little older now, so we appreciate the 80s metal and that. Like Scott, I'm into the heavy metal. I love thrash. I love death metal. I even like a little more extreme metal than Scott does. But I'm glad we did a hair metal show.
Yeah. So there you go. So that's it for this edition. For Dale Huffman at Metal Pulse Radio.
Every Thursday at WW on Tune. Don't forget 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Then my good buddy Jeff LSD follows me through the Darkness Radio. 4 hours of great Christian rock and metal, man.
There you go. So that's it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Maybe you learned about some new bands. Go ahead and leave me a thumbs up if you liked it. Thumbs down if you didn't. And subscribe. And that's it. Appreciate y'all watching. Much love to you, especially all you guys who have been praying for me. By the way, I am feeling a whole lot better.
Looking good.
We'll be able to return to work soon. So really appreciate all the love and support I got through that hospital stay I had. So that's it. God bless. Stay strong.